as a shadchan, it's hard to see, it's hard to hear. You're seeing this pain, it's raw, you hear the parents, they're really, really in pain. Put yourself in their shoes, like it's coming from despair.
I guess the only way a shadchan could be considered a good shadchan is not based on results. It's based on how they treat the singles along the way.
I mean, my degree is in marketing, so sometimes marketing goes together with shidduchim. When you're trying to get a yes for someone, it's really how you present them, how you sell it. But at the end of the day, siyat d'shmaya, it's Hashem. Yeah. We're just a shaliach.
This is Adina Reich, a longtime shadchan who's been setting people up for over 20 years, but now she's doing something completely different. She founded the Shidduch Lounge, a new kind of space where singles actually meet in person, no endless back and forth, just conversation, connection, and a chance to bring humanity back into dating.
A girl said to me at our second week, she said, oh, you know, I met a guy here and he told me he'd like to go out, and I told him I'd like to go out. Like, what do we do now? She said, oh, by the way, would you mind sending me his resume? My mother would like to make some calls.
Right.
And that's great.
For sure.
We're not cutting that piece out. Make some calls. But the organic interest that starts goes a long way.
It's just so natural.
It's so natural. There's so many people dating now who one side gave a no, and then they met and they said, oh, I want to go out with her.
That's what I'm talking about.
100% that's happening at the Shidduch Lounge. And I think that is so important. We got to get away from the papers and the pictures that are just not effective, and it's making the crisis worse.
Do you know when the entire Shidduch system began? Like the entire thing. When did it become the way it is?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to the way when I was dating. Okay, 19 years old, back from seminary. My mom got phone calls. Shadchanim would make a phone call, actually give over the phone the information. Your mother would write down with a pencil or pen, the paper, some references. That was the old system that everybody knew. When I became a shadchan, which kind of just happened naturally, at my own Shabbos Shavuos, my husband had his friends, I had my friends. We were, let's set them up, and it was fun. They went out, we made a shidduch from it. Our first one, we moved to Baltimore, a small community where there's singles, not many shadchanim back then. So I had made one shidduch.
What was this? Wait, I know you don't want to date yourself or anything, but how? What year was this?
We're talking 1999.
Wow. Okay.
We got married 98, 99. We were in Baltimore, and my name, people were calling me a shadchan. I only had made one shidduch, but then very quickly, you're meeting people. You're starting to get a feel for it. You're setting them up. People aren't really trusting you. They're like, oh, I like the idea, but oh, do you mind? We found someone who knows both of us. Could we just use them? And you're like, what? And okay, no problem. Go for it. As long as, we're getting into the whole mode of being a shadchan. And it kind of happened very natural for me because, my degree is in marketing. So sometimes marketing goes together with shidduchim. When you're trying to get a yes for someone, it's really how you present them, how you sell it.
Sure.
And so for me, I guess I naturally fell into being a shadchan.
That's great, having a background in marketing and then going into shidduchim because of it.
It wasn't, it just naturally happened, I guess. Shadchanim usually are people, I'll use the word people person. Yeah. So they know how to connect with people, or at least a good shadchan does. And so if you're connecting with people, you're reading people, your ideas are coming to your head. But going back to the question of shidduchim, so we started naturally setting up our friends, made shidduchim like that, and then people start reaching out to you. In the very beginning, we each had notebooks or index cards. We would write our information on index cards and keep it all organized by tabs.
Who's we?
Me. There was just, you would have a group of friends who everyone was just starting to dabble.
Wanted to set each other up.
Yeah, and everyone would kind of dabble, and anyone who was successful became a shadchan. That's how it naturally happened.
It's very interesting just to understand frame this whole idea, the whole shidduch scene, and we're talking about obviously you're getting into it with your friends, with the cards and everything. You said you know about it just from when you were dating. That's the earliest of shidduchim. I'm curious, before then, do you even know what existed? When your parents were shidduchim, what happened? Or it was just, it did, I'm trying to pinpoint where things became more formal.
I'm sure your parents, I'm sure everyone talks about the good old days when they
just college.
Yeah, they met in college. They met very naturally. There was no waiting so much for the shadchan to call in the mainstream area. They were meeting on their own. That became not the norm, I guess, as our society moved a little bit more to the right.
Probably the 80s or 90s this happened. No, 90s maybe?
I guess that became 80s? Not appropriate. Or
I guess. But you know what? Like, I think we'll talk about it obviously with the lounge and everything. But like, I want to say it's making a little bit of a comeback, but the more natural way of doing things is, but of course with Das Torah and you know, appropriately.
I will say that going from, you know, when I was talking about the index cards and our notebooks, we have come so far in Shidduchim. It's incredible to see how many people are dabbling. I'll use that word because so many just try and give their extra time to Shidduchim, and they try so hard to be Shadchanim. And the number of Shadchanim that join these chats to try to work on singles is, I've never seen something like it. I mean, we're at a really, we've never had that before. Like thousands and thousands of women are giving their time, and I'm sure there's men too. Just not
how
as
would
familiar.
you define a shadchan? Meaning, obviously, someone who says, like, I think of ideas for my friends. My wife thinks of ideas for her friends.
Do you send them? Do you go read them?
We try. Like, I have read a shidduch. Do I consider it? I'm not considered a shadchan. So what defines, I guess, a shadchan?
True, that's a good point, because there are tons of people trying to set up their friends and their cousins and their neighbors, and that is super important and it's needed. I guess the ones who end up becoming shadchanim are the ones, I know this sounds terrible, but it's the ones who actually make the shidduchim. Yeah. Because that's just how the reputation goes. Like, you made shidduchim, oh, you're a shadchan. If you haven't made a shidduch, I know friends like this who aren't so successful in making shidduchim, and that's, again, siyata d'shmaya completely, but they're great at getting dates. They set people up on dates, and they help people in their journey to get to the right one. And so some of these people end up going towards dating coaching and helping the singles in the journey of coaching them. Yeah. And all of this is like so important and so needed. I think what I was kind of going towards is the fact that there are so many people now trying. It's obviously just a drop in the bucket, because there are so many people in pain out there waiting for the phone call to come in, watching their kids sitting home without a date. Like, we're going towards, as a shadchan, if you're a good shadchan, you're seeing this pain. It's raw. You hear the parents. They're really, really in pain. Yeah. And as a shadchan, it's hard to see. It's hard to hear, because, you know, you want to help. Of course, every shadchan really wants to help, but then is it in our hands? Not really. We're putting in our hishtadlus. We're sending out, you know, ideas. We're trying to give time to explain why it's a good idea. But at the end of the day, siyat d'shmaya. It's Hashem. Yeah. We're just a shaliach.
I guess the only way a shadchan could be considered a good shadchan, given what you just said, is not based on results. It's not based on if they make shidduchim. It's based on how they treat the singles along the way, because that's the only thing that they have control over.
1,000%. And a good and what I would say to shadchanim who are listening to this, and myself included, I have to remind myself every so often, put yourself in their shoes. Like, it's coming from pain. It's coming from their feeling despair. You know, whether it's a parent who reaches out and maybe says something that doesn't come across so nice. You know, whether it's, why haven't I heard from you? Or
they're in a very vulnerable position. Yeah.
Are you thinking about my child? Or anything that might come across a little too aggressive, being that shadchanim, for the most part, work for free. Yeah. And it's a chesed-based industry. I always used to laugh. It's the one industry where my husband used to say, she's not looking for more clients. She's not looking for more business. Yeah. Because I was really overwhelmed with everybody reaching out to me. And I wasn't ready to go hire staff to start answering my messages. And, you know, before WhatsApp, it was email. And I remember people looking at my email account and they'd be like, are you kidding? You have 50,000 unread emails or something ridiculous. And it was a ridiculous number. I was embarrassed, but what was I supposed to do?
So what are you supposed to do? Because, you know, I think there is a lot of, lack of a better term, animosity or just frustration with you have people who are single, and you have shadchanim, and the balance of power is completely shifted. You have singles who are just trying to get shadchanim to help them, and it's not possible for you to help everybody. It's not possible for shadchanim to help everybody. They just don't have the time in the day. So it, I think, naturally leads to this frustration of like, why are you not returning my calls? I saw an organization that started, I don't know, recently at some point, that their purpose is to like put an advocate in the middle of the single and the shadchan to help the shadchan get in touch with the single. It's like, wow. It's interesting, but how do you deal with that dichotomy or that balance of power?
I could tell you that when my kids were young and it's when you have little kids, you're not sleeping as well as you should. You also have a job,
Yeah.
and this kind of demanding, I guess, people could be demanding. Let's put it that way. I remember sending Shlomo, my husband, to Rav Chaim Zatzal, and asking him, like, can I just put it on break? Could I just stop? I really was considering it because I've been doing this over 20 years. Let's just say over 20. That way we don't have to age myself.
Right.
But I would say after 10 years, I had made a lot of shidduchim, which I had never advertised because I never thought one day I'd be this shadchan who made so many shidduchim. So I never kept count. When people said, but how many did you make? I started to wonder, how many did I make? So I started slowly going back, trying to recount, but there really is no way to recount all your years, especially when you have a memory like mine. So there was no way to keep track of it. And I was happy that I didn't keep track because it's not a bragging right.
Right.
Like it's
Do you know how many you made though?
I really don't.
No clue.
No. And I don't like when my husband, sometimes he'll exaggerate, like, oh, she's made over 300. I really don't know. I don't feel comfortable even saying that. Like I said, it bought
400.
I don't think it should be a bragging right. It's really mazel from Hashem. And like you said, it's not the shidduchim that you're making. It's the effort you're putting in, helping people getting dates and helping them feel good about the journey and in this whole process.
So do you know how many shidduchim you've read?
That I could safely say, I wonder if I could say 1 million. I mean,
No, it's probably not 1 million.
It really might be.
It's a lot. It's a lot of shidduchim.
When you live, breathe, and do it all day, it's a lot you're writing a day.
Right.
It really is. And I mean, I've been doing this over 20 years. So
what do you think happens with this?
Yeah.
Again, like you're one shadchan and you have, I guess there's a lot of shadchanim. It's colleagues. There's thousands of them and you're in one industry but there's a lot of singles and there's like the tug of war. It's a little bit like a frustration that they're not getting reached out to. They're not getting in touch. I mean, is there anything to do about that? Is there any way to fix that? Is there any way to like bridge that gap or?
You're talking about this, so many singles who are waiting for responses.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Or parents just saying like, we're not getting any, like we met with 5 shadchanim and because of X, Y, and Z, we're not getting answers. We're not getting reached out to.
Okay. So the first thing, like you said, because of X, Y, Z, it's amazing that you would think sometimes people come into the shidduch world and you think, oh, they're going to be easy. They'll be the first. And then you have people that are coming into the shidduch scene and you're like, oh boy, like you would think they're going to be the last. And then, I mean, this happened, I'm thinking of one shidduch specifically, besides for health issues the girl had and just different things that made it a hard shidduch. Challenging. She was literally, I made the shidduch with another shadchan, and she was the first in her grade. And we were all of her classmates were so like amazed. But my point is, I guess in this, no one has it easy. No one has it challenging. It's really up to Hashem who is going to have an easy, smooth ride. And for a shadchan, the most we can do is try and help and think of good suggestions and suggest them. And if we get a yes from the boy, again, it's from Hashem. It's not our talents or our powers. It's really, if everyone keeps that in perspective, then hopefully there's a little bit less hurt.
I think people feel like, oh, they're not getting back to me because of this. And it's nothing to do with that. Right.
It's nothing really to do with that. I mean, yes, we see people who have, like, it's like at the same time, Hashem could do that for you. The girl who was likely to get married last got married first. And then you have the girl who does have a hard package and she's still single, So you see both sides, but there's no rhyme or reason. It's when a person's meant to, meet the right one and move to that next stage. That's what you really get to see in this whole business.
Right. So it sounds like it seems like there's just introspection that's needed on both ends. That's it. There's no like systemic thing that could happen to really make everyone feel more heard and more thought of.
Well, shadchanim often will tell a single, like when they reach out, or a mother, continue to reach out to me. Don't reach out once and then forget about us. Meaning, because shadchanim have so many people reaching out to them, it's good for people to stay on their radar that they're still available. Okay, it's been a month. Like, let me send a message.
Right.
Doesn't have to be a Rosh Chodesh message because then a shadchan gets too many Rosh Chodesh messages and they can't respond to all of them. But, once every month, once every few weeks, just send a message if you're free. That, I always say to singles, that's the best thing they can do for themselves. It's a good way to advocate because you're reminding the shadchan about yourself. And it's not that she doesn't want to remember you. It's just that the mind is only so great. And with all the incoming information that a shadchan processes daily, there's no way, unless maybe someone's brilliant, maybe then their brain can process it all.
Yeah.
But the average shadchan is just human.
I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. We touched so many important topics with Adina Reich, who's an incredible shadchan, and she is working on this incredible new initiative. But first, this episode is sponsored by Colel Chabad, so make sure to download the Pushka app right now. I have it on my phone wherever I go. Every single day, I make sure to get Tzedaka on the Pushka app. Pushka.cc/meaningful. Start a streak. Give Tzedaka 15 days in a row. It'll make sure that you know about it. 15 days in a row, 20 days in a row, 30 days in a row, whatever it is, pushka.cc/meaningful. Give Tzedaka right now. It's never been so easy. Download the app right now, pushka.cc/meaningful. This episode is also sponsored by my friends at Touro. Yes, November 9th at 1:45 p.m. Lander College for Men, the Beis Medrash L'Talmud, is having an open house. And if you're someone that values your Torah study as much as your academic success, this is for you. Touro has created so many superstars, so many gems, and it all began with one open house. So November 9th, 1:45 p.m., make sure that you are part of it. Hit the link in the show notes of this episode to find out more. It all starts at Landers College for Men. Your journey can begin. So many great things you can accomplish. Head to Touro, hit the link in the show notes below and find out more. Now back to this episode.
Let's think about it. Let's like draw a parallel, let's say, between the shotgun scene and like a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. So a single could say, yeah, but like I feel very uncomfortable constantly trying to reach out and hound and remind. Imagine I go to a doctor and he says, okay, just keep reminding me about you. So I think about you. And you're like,
that's a great point.
You're a doctor. Like, think about me. Obviously it's very different. One is this hardcore profession and they're getting paid nicely, and one is chesed. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you'd understand from the single standpoint,
100%.
It's like they might feel a little bit discounted just having to constantly chase.
I think this answer is like kind of talks to the shadchanim. We have to be so careful and try so hard to make them feel good when they reach out to us. Like, as much as I can, I want to respond. Thank you so much for touching base. I really appreciate it. Going to keep you in mind. Yeah. Like, make them feel good about it, and that's hard on shadchanim because it means they have to do a response. They have to respond to that message. But it is really vital because you're right. The singles feel awful having to give that reminder. You know, nobody wants to feel like a nebuch.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
But I try to make them realize this is normal. This is what we expect. We want you to touch base because we need you to touch base. We want to keep you in mind. We want to set you up. Yeah. We're on your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I try to impart when I meet a single. I used to do meetings in person, just with everything, I guess, with all of our technology and the amount of people reaching out, there was just no way enough hours in the day to really put in those chesed hours of meetings. So for myself, I found it way more efficient to just schedule FaceTime meetings. That way they're short, they're quick, you get a feel for somebody. You know, you mentioned doctors, and that brings me to the thought of a shadchan is a little bit like a doctor. Just like a doctor can, look at an x-ray and from an x-ray just get a feel what is wrong here. A shadchan can take a look at a resume and read it up pretty quickly.
Right.
We're not always perfect at it, but
there are good doctors and they're not great doctors. That's
yeah. And every good doctor sometimes can make a mistake.
For sure.
But that's how it is. When we see a resume, we see the dreaded picture. Yeah. I say the dreaded because although it's become so mainstream at this point, even boys have shidduch pictures at this point.
Do you think that picture shouldn't be?
No, I think the picture is necessary at this point.
So there was like this whole movement like a couple years ago. Yeah. Nix the pic.
I knew you were going there.
I mean, you went there. I'm just following you.
That was bad.
No, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know who started that, and I'm trying to think. I think I was married when that happened. But what were your thoughts on that? So
I always have this memory of my in-laws telling me. Sorry, I hope I could say this on camera. That when I was read to their son, there wasn't, this WhatsApp thing going on. So what did they do? They reached out to the principal of my school and said, would you mind sending me a picture of her? And the principal took a picture or sent a picture of my yearbook picture, which again, that is public. Everybody has the yearbooks, and mailed it to them, and they were very happy. They saw a picture,
mailed it to them. Wow, that's really committed.
I'm dating myself.
That's committed. That's great.
And I'm not going to say what high school. I'm not going to say anything but I don't think there's a problem with it. I think at the end of the day, mothers who are trying to make these decisions and find the right girl for their son, a picture does give a feeling. It gives, you see chen, doesn't mean a mother's looking for, the most beautiful girl. It's just a feeling of what's being given across from a picture. So, and at this point in life where WhatsApp and everybody has pictures, if you don't have a picture, you are at a significant disadvantage. However, I'm probably going to get yelled at for what I just said. However, I will say those people who ask their shaylas and they really have true emunah bitachon that they do not need a picture, I do believe they're on a level where their shidduch is going to come about. It's going to be a mother who didn't want to see a picture, and that's why the mother went with her.
Right. I would agree.
I've seen that.
I'll get yelled at with you. I'm with you on that. Like, and I'll disagree with you if I disagree with you. Like, but like I agree with you on that. I think you like really you hit it on the nail. Like, there unfortunately or fortunately, just the nature is that there will be a disadvantage if someone says I refuse to give a picture. It's just like the teva of the way things are right now. You're just going against a certain tide, and a certain result might come from it. So I would agree with that.
But I really do hear stories all the time of shidduchim happening, people getting engaged, and one of the only reason the boy's mother went with it was because this girl didn't have a picture, and that's what this mother was specifically looking for. She didn't believe in that whole thing, and kol hakavod, like it worked, and those people have strong emunah bitachon that it's going to work for them, and Amrit Hashem, like Hashem should just show them that they stayed true to what their Rav told them or what they believed in, and their shidduch should come about.
What do you think, having been in it since, when you got started to now, what has changed?
Okay, so what has changed? That's a good question. I think that the first thing that's changed, because mothers are receiving an overwhelming number of resumes and pictures. So on an average day, a boy's mother can really get, I don't even know if I'm underestimating, 30.
Wow.
So remember how I said there are so many people dabbling in shidduchim? So that's a huge milah because we have more people trying to help. At the same time, a boy's mother is getting mass resumes because it's so easy. It's so easy just to send over ideas and give your thoughts on it. So I don't know about you, but we're all in over our heads in general with what we have to do on a daily basis. So imagine having to make that decision with 30 resumes, new resumes, what's for my son? Yeah. Are you going to be able to start making phone calls on every girl that came in?
No, like what brings it to the top? Like what brings one of them to the top? So I felt, and I don't know if you disagree, and this is kind of how I started when I was dating. This is what I did at some point with the shotgun I was working with. I said, if a girl is going to give me a yes, I probably will say yes back. So I think the fact that boys need to say yes first and then a girl needs to then get the resume, I know the intent behind that is to protect the girl from getting a no, but how are we making that girl feel when she doesn't get a resume for 4 months because there's 40 resumes on that boy's desk per day? So I felt like one way to make a resume jump to the top of a list for a boy is, oh, by the way, this girl already saw your resume. She said yes to you. She wants to go out with you. What do you think about that?
So I think in theory, it's good. It's good in theory, meaning I think that would work with a boy who's not getting 30 resumes a day. I think a boy who is like, is trying to weed out, like, I know this is a hard topic, but some boys obviously are more well-connected and they went to the right schools and their resumes look a certain way, let's put it, and they're getting abnormal number of resumes. For a boy like that, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work. Even if a mom hears, oh, you have a yes from her, it's not going to make it more enticing. He just has a lot of people use the word chasing.
So why wouldn't it work? Because
the mother doesn't care really. The mother kid has 30 fabulous resumes here and she's going to want to zero in on the one that she wants. Okay. That she thinks is going to be best.
Okay.
But I think for the boy that doesn't have the 30 resumes coming in, let's say he has 1 or 2 coming in, just for the reason that maybe he's not as well connected, or he didn't go to that yeshiva in Israel that everybody's chasing. Silly reasons like that. That boy, a shadchan has to know who they're dealing with, but that boy's mother would appreciate hearing, oh, this girl looked in, I take it more seriously, and she's interested. Those boys' mothers appreciate it, and it actually helps things. I have that often where I have a boy who I know needs ideas, and I also don't want to get him a no back. I want it to be a mutual, that it's actually in line. So I've asked permission from the boy's mother, would you mind if I send his resume at the same time? And those mothers appreciate that and they love it. So it works. It definitely works in some cases. I don't see the
downside to it though. Like what's the downside?
The downside would be if shadchanim are constantly doing that and sending boys resumes and saying, oh, let me know if you're interested. And then they really aren't coming back with any yeses. Like, okay, the mom's saying, oh, I'm interested. And the shadchan's not getting the yes from the boy because the boy's mom has so many and she already has other ones that she wanted first. So then like what was being accomplished? You have a girl now interested, but she's not going to get the yes. It's just as painful.
I think what you're saying the downside is like she's not going to get the yes, but she's also not getting the no. She's kind of getting the 1 second where he's busy. Overloaded. He's
busy. He's not dating now.
Well, I would say that's better than getting nothing though.
Yeah. Getting some answer would be great.
No, like meaning right now there are girls getting zero. Like they can go a month without getting a resume.
Right.
Because they're waiting on boys to sift through resumes.
Right. So you're saying, okay. So first of all, we didn't mention this, but starting this whole conversation, I should have said, to start us off, this shadchanim recognize and should recognize this is the most painful parsha for people to be in. Whether you're in it, I shouldn't say right away. The first month or two, it's not so painful. 3 months, not so painful. But after 6 months of being in this situation, it's painful for parents. They see their children hurting.
But you know what? We have a podcast that's part of our network here, Stories of Hope, which I don't know if you've heard of. It's Sephora Gredko, and speak a lot about shidduchim and couples and dating. And I spent time by a Pesach program, and I ran the panels in Yontif. And this topic came up a lot. The Shidduch panel literally had people pulling their hair out. It was great. That's why they brought me there. Pesach Bordeaux, we're gonna do it again. But the thing is, when it comes to shidduchim, it's it should be the most enjoyable, happy, exciting time of life. In this process, you're gonna meet your wife, you're gonna meet your husband, you're gonna meet the mother or father of your potential children, the person you're gonna build a life with. And you just said it. Yeah. It's unfortunately, it's laced with so much disappointment, with so much heartache, with so much pain. How do we change that? How do we reframe that whole thing? You
set me up perfect, because this is really why I'm here today. We want to talk about the Shidduch Lounge. It's an initiative that we launched August 30th. And
2 months ago.
Yeah. Okay. We've only had 3 weeks so far. So
amazing. This is fresh.
This is fresh, yeah. And this idea of the pain that people are in, I've always wanted to do something and make a change. And obviously, I want to also say people doing single events and lots of people doing events for singles, they're fabulous and they're trying, and it's all a drop in the bucket. There's obviously still so much pain out there. So every single step, every single thing that people are doing, amazing. We need every single bit. This Shidduch Lounge idea came about. I'll just give you the background. There's 2 wonderful guys who both got married later in life. They're successful in real estate. I know them because I used to set them up. One of them I actually, Baruch Hashem, made his shidduch. And the other one I was involved with for a while, setting him up. And
402, yeah.
And they came to me and said, we have this space. It's their office space. It's designed where the entire center of the space is a beautiful lounge. And they felt passionate about giving back and helping singles. And they said, what could you do with it? And so that was my opening where I said, wow, I can do whatever I want. I have the space now given to me. I have guys who feel passionate about this cause, which means I have backing. I'm not a one-man show. Right. And when I say backing, I don't mean financial. I just mean backing in terms of support. Yeah. Because getting this off the ground, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I have people helping me. So it really, it made all the difference. So these 2 guys approached, we discussed ideas, and my idea was having a space for singles every single Motzei Shabbos. continuously, open just for singles. Now, every Motzei Shabbos geared to a different crowd. So we have boys and girls coming of the same type, looking for the same type, whether it's, some more value, some more hashkafos.
Right. So you're saying like 25 to 30 or
Exactly.
22 to 27, modern Orthodox, yeshivish,
Exactly.
Bal Tshuva,
You got it.
Okay.
We categorize as best as we can so that we can get a homogeneous crowd of boys and girls in there. Every Motzei Shabbos, the doors are open. Girls and guys who would like to attend have to register. There is a process of acceptance because to keep anything nice and smooth and homogeneous, that has to be part of the process.
I mean, people can't just walk in off the street on Motzei Shabbos and say, oh, we're here.
Right. But I will say we have in the past few weeks had some people walk in off the street, and I guess I'll put this out publicly. I don't like to turn people away. But at the same, so if we can help them, we will.
Right.
If we're already at our limit, then we can't.
Register.
It all depends, like what's happening inside the Shidduch lounge. So now talking about the Shidduch lounge itself, the idea was to have a meet the shadchan, because all singles love meet the shadchan. They love opportunities to network for themselves. Something that they could actually go and do. It's a proactive thing. So it makes them feel good. Like they're not just sitting home waiting. They can go meet a shadchan. Go talk to them about what you're looking for. Let them get to know me. So we wanted the opportunity here for shadchanim to be there, talk to the singles. At the same time, we want to make it a little bit more organic in the way shidduchim come about. We would love kind of going back to the old days where
Brooklyn College, let's go.
College,
Yeah.
done in a Torah rooted environment with the haskama of rabbanim, which we do have. We had 3 rooms with meet the shadchan happening, where singles got to select a time to meet the shadchan, and then while they're waiting, there was tables with games, there was food, and we had facilitators and shadchanim walking around, schmoozing with them, talking, and then kind of introducing.
Right.
Oh, we'd like to meet that guy. I think it might be a nice idea for you. So there was a lot of interaction. Let's say in the beginning of the evening when the singles walk in, it's the beginning of the evening. There's good, nice music, good lighting, good vibes, but the girls are hanging together, the guys are hanging together. But then as facilitators and shadchanim approach them and schmooze, and shadchanim automatically, their brains work like this. Oh, I know that guy. I could see that. Okay, can I introduce you? And that's what the singles love. They love being approached, whether it's going to come to a date, whether it's going to come to a marriage. It's not the point. The point is they're able to actually, in this evening, meet a few different options of boys that might be for them and put themselves in a way where they're doing something for themselves. It's not just sitting waiting for the phone to ring.
That's really great.
So
I love that idea.
Yeah. So our first week, we geared towards the 25 to 32-year-olds. It was a Torah-focused working group. There's one specific guy I did this group for. I can't say his name on the podcast, but he's an incredible human being and gave so much of his time and efforts towards all of our advertising and our marketing. And he deserves a big yasher koach, but I think he'll want to stay anonymous. So we geared that event for him, and it was a great crowd. The very first week, we had too many people registering, which means that
it shows the need.
It shows the need. We were worried to make it too large because we have to make sure that the space works, and we don't want it to be a balagan. We really want it to be where tachlis comes out of it. And so we did have to turn some people away, unfortunately, but we recommended they come to a different event. We have events every single Motzei Shabbos geared to different crowds. I do want to mention our ultimate goal. This is, again, a little drop in the bucket of what we're doing here in the 5 towns to help singles from all over. It's not just for 5-town singles. It's singles wherever you are, you want to come, register. But if you fit the crowd, we would love to have you. And our goal here is to look back in 5 years and see a shidduch lounge opened in every Jewish community.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you looking to bring this to Monsey, Brooklyn, Passaic?
100%. We would love to get these opened everywhere because there's a need, and it's not going to take away business from the 5 towns shidduch lounge.
Sure. Well,
it's all needed.
What might happen is people listening to this, they may be like, I have a huge office. I'm like, good, I'm giving my office for that. And you guys are ready to roll?
We're ready to roll. I will tell you that we're 3 weeks in, and I already got the first request from somebody in New Jersey who is ready to roll and wants us to come and help open one in New Jersey.
Amazing. Do you see that this is leading to dates?
We have people still dating from the first event, We have many dating from the second event. And now our Shadchanim are working on third event. And yeah, there's lots of interest. One more piece about the Shidduch Lounge. It's all sustainable only with our volunteer Shadchanim.
Right.
Nobody here is being paid. There's no salaries. It's an event that the admission fee of $20 covers the food, our cleaning crew.
Sure is cheaper than going to a date.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kilo a date.
Yeah, yeah.
You could someone can go there and meet someone and talk to them. That's like, oh my gosh, like how people get married.
Yeah. I had a really cute girl said to me at our second week, the 19 to 25-year-old, she said, oh, I met a guy here and he told me he'd like to go out. And I told him I'd like to go out. Like, what do we do now? I said, that's wonderful. I'm going to be in touch with both of you tonight, People still want the Shadchanim to be involved, and we're here for that. At a typical event, we have about 10 Shadchanim. So there's more than enough Shadchanim doing follow-up afterwards. We have email that goes out automated to every single who arrived, asking them for some feedback and asking if they're interested in anybody.
That's really funny what you just said. Like it's an indicator though. I think of like how interesting of a time we're in when it comes to shidduchim. Like, and what you're doing is like literally the medicine that I think the world needs. It's kind of like, okay, let's peel it back. Over the last 25 years, things have gone in a way where people have they felt completely like disabled when it comes to being a voice in their own shidduchim, where they would just take a back seat and say, okay, now what? Like, you tell me where, you tell me what. And now you have girls saying, oh, when a guy goes to, hey, we're by this event, it's kosher, it's great. I'd like to go out with you. It's amazing.
Yeah. And by the way, that girl did at the end of the night, when I texted her, I was in touch with her. She said, oh, by the way, would you mind sending me his resume? My mother would like to make some calls. Right. And that's great.
For sure.
We're not cutting that piece out. That's important. Make some calls. But the organic interest that starts goes a long way.
It's just so natural.
It's so natural. There was something that we touched upon. It was actually when you asked me about being overwhelmed with Shidduchim, I was telling you, I don't think I got the story about, I sent Shlomo to Rav Chaim.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is an important piece for Shadchanim to realize, because we're all so overwhelmed and we so sometimes want to fall out of it, drop out of it. And my husband kind of asked Rav Chaim, like, does my wife have to stay in this? Like, would it be okay to take a break? Would it, and his response was so clear in giving a bracha and saying, this was for me, I'm sure it's for any shadchan who's working hard and is overwhelmed by it. Look at the brachos in your life and understand that the brachos that you will have for your own children are coming from this specifically, working hard for other people's children. And for myself, I really see it clearly. I see it so clearly, just the brachos in my life, with how hard I work for others, and it's how could I give that up?
Right.
So I think.
So the answer was no. You can't stop.
I would never. I can't stop.
Do you ever want to?
Not anymore. Once Rav Chaim gave that bracha, and he did give a bracha for a good shidduchim for my children and a lot of good, wonderful things, and I would never stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
We'll be right back to this episode in just a second. You know that song we sing every single Friday night, Eishes Chayil? It's not just a song. It's a story. It's a story about women of valor. And Baruch Hashem, I'm sure we all have those in our lives. Well, there's a new book by Rabbi Yassin Marcus. It's called Eishes Chayil, The Woman of Valor. And it brings those verses through the stories of 24 incredible women, Jewish women, from Sarah and Miriam to Esther and beyond. Each chapter connects their strength and courage to the words that we sing every Shabbos. And the book even features stunning artwork by an Israeli artist, Leah Baratz. So, my friends, you're going to want to get your hands on this book. It's actually dedicated in honor of the special woman who passed away, who lost their lives defending Nachal Oz on October 7th. This book is beautiful. I actually have it here. And just every single page, it's a stunning book. It's not just a book filled with knowledge, it's art. It is something you want to get your hands on. So hit the link in the show notes of this episode. And do me a favor. You can order the book right now at kehat.com, KEHOT.com. Hit the link in the show notes below right now. Use promo code MM20 or SOH20, and you'll get 20% off right now. Get your hands on this beautiful book. This episode is also sponsored by Ketubah.com. We've all walked into our parents' or grandparents' home, and you see that Ketubah hanging on the wall. Gold lettering, their names, the date.
It's more than paper. It's a legacy. And ketubot.com really helps you take a document, which is a legal document, and it helps you turn it into a piece of art. Now, besides for being stunning and halachically perfect, it's really personal. So whether you want something traditional, you want something modern, head to ketubot.com right now. Your wedding is coming up. This is an exciting time. You can be part of the process of designing your own kasuba. So head to ketubot.com right now. Ketubot.com right now. Hit the link in the show notes below and get started on that process.
So yeah, this Shidduch lounge thing, which I think is so, first of all, it's so cool that it's so fresh. It just started, and I'm sure people are gonna be listening to this and be like, wow, like, how do I get to the Five Towns? Because this is great.
Yeah, a lot of people have emailed, oh, I live in Lakewood, can I come? I say it's not a singles event, so you don't have to be there at 9:15 when the doors open.
Right.
Sure, come on down. Whenever you get there, it's good. It's a pressure-free zone. Good music and food and shadchanim talking to you, and there's such a good vibe in the room. You should come see it for yourself if you want, just to see what's happening. And it makes the singles feel good. I've gotten, like I said, we send out an automated email which asks for feedback.
Yeah.
The feedback has been what keeps me going now strong on the Shidduch Lounge. This has been literally full-time since the idea started, because a lot of this is working out technological things with spreadsheets and Google Forms, which I'm certainly not good at. I mean, I didn't grow up with that stuff, and and it's all new stuff. So that being said, we're going to keep going because the feedback has been just really phenomenal. A mother whose daughter was at one of the younger events, and what she said, I can really just tell you in short, what she said was the positive effects for the mental health of people, where the girls aren't just sitting waiting like what we were saying. They're able to go out and do something proactively. This woman is a clinical psychologist who's done studies on this whole shidduch system. And her email to me was just, she was so like seeing the effects of what could be done here, and helping the mental state for people is really, it pushes us forward. Yeah.
Just for record, you invited me to the Shidduch lounge. I am married. My wife is very private, so sometimes like people will like, oh, I have a great shidduch for you. I Baruch Hashem have 3 kids. I am married. Just maybe I'll come with my wife. Check it out.
You do look young, but I did know you're married, and I meant come with your wife. Yes. Shlomo comes on evenings, and he sits and schmoozes with people.
Does he bring his guitar?
He hasn't brought his guitar yet, but he actually plans on it. We have a spot where we're debating when we're going to actually bring someone and plug them in for a little bit of nice music. That's something we could add as our budget, as we get some new sponsors involved, and
that's really cool.
People step up and help us out.
Well, Meaningful Minutes is going to definitely sponsor a weekend. Like we want to, like, this is so cool. Like, we want to bring this forward. The next thing I want to bring up, this actually, I interviewed a Holocaust survivor the other week, and he said this, not me, so I'm just going to quote him. He was telling me how he got married, and it was very, very simple. Like, he came to America. A couple years later, his friend got married. He went to the Vart. He had a camera. He took a picture of him and his kala, and his friend was in the picture. And she said, "Oh, can I have the picture?" He said, "Oh, I give it to you if you go out with me." And she's like, "Nah." And he's like, "Okay, then no picture." And she's like, "Okay, fine." And they went out and they got married. I'm like, wow, that sounds like Shidduchim
nice and simple.
Yeah, I'm like, it sounds like Shidduchim was a lot easier then. And he said, "Yeah, well, no parents were around." So that's what he said. I didn't say that. Do you think? And I asked this question by a Pesach program, and it sent the crowd into a frenzy. I said, "Do you think that mothers are overbearing when it comes to shidduchim and should take a step back?" And the crowd went nuts. The singles said yeah. The boys said yes. The mothers said what? And they started yelling at each other. I'm not expecting you to sit here right now and tell me. Because that would be like, you can't say that. You can't say, oh yeah, mothers need to take a step back.
Right.
But with what you created, the Shidduch Lounge, there is a aspect to it that puts the mantle somewhat in the hands of this 25-year-old, which is very natural and normal.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I find. I find that when singles are young, the mothers are very much involved, and like you're saying, overbearing. I think it's more they're trying to get it right. Now,
they all have good intentions.
A good parent needs to take a moment, really get to know their child in a real way and understand what's good for them. My pet peeve, and I hate using that word, but when I feel like I'm talking to someone and they don't get their child and they're looking for, I'll use the word perfect or perfection, when let's be real. I mean, even if their child was perfect, no one's really perfect. Everyone's got their stuff that they're not perfect with. And it takes a parent, like a smart parent, to really know their child and look what's good for them, not what's perfect. And that's where a lot of mothers go wrong because, and this statement, you know, it's a fact. You know, people say, oh, when you're a boy, you just get, you know, you could be an average boy, yet you'll get suggested the best girls, right? Like, you've heard that, I'm sure. And there's a little bit of resentment towards that, although it is what it is, you know. Our schools are producing amazing girls.
That's who said this recently. Sonny Proma, I interviewed him. He said the solution he has is Beis Yaakov should like take a step back in their education. Like, they're doing too good of a job.
They're doing a great job.
I would agree that the girls being produced are far better than the boys being produced.
Oh, it's a horrible statement. I'm not masking.
You're not masking? Because you have sons. You have a lot of sons. No, I have a lot of girls. I do think that, first of all, it's just like, it's the way Hashem created the world. The girls are just more tamimistic.
It's easier to be a good girl. Correct.
Yeah, probably. Yes, probably. It's easier to be a good girl. And I think that, like, I don't know. I don't know if I step back from that statement that we're producing amazing girls. And I'm not saying we're not producing great boys.
By the way, it's also just standards. We have very high standards for a good boy. What makes a good boy?
And it's not real. It keeps getting higher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What should make a good boy? In my opinion, it should be that sweet, wonderful guy who's going to make a great husband, who's caring, who's warm, who's emotional. Like, these are great traits. He tries to make minyan. Okay, he doesn't make minyan every single day? Okay, this is a hard statement, but a lot of people say absolutely not.
Right.
And that was their line of what makes a good boy versus a not good boy. And okay, let's go back. Everybody's entitled to feel that way and have their feelings of what makes a good boy. But that's the problem a little bit when people are looking for perfection.
I hear 100% what you're saying. I also know that you're trying not to get canceled.
Yeah.
You're I 100% hear it. You should know we published a video once from Rabbi Eli Mansour, who said that there was a mother that asked for shidduch information about a boy, and she said, I want a boy for my daughter that doesn't even have to ask shilas to a Rav. He knows the answer. And he said, I want to find the clip. I want to find it because I'm going to botch it because what do I know? Like, but it was so good. It was so good. Let's find it. Here we go. Boom. That was quick.
From time to time, or for parents that want to get their kids married. A mother calls me up. We want a boy who any question she asks him in halakha, he'll know the answer. Where did you get this barometer of that's what makes a good husband, that is able to answer every question in halakha? So you don't care if he has a short temper. You don't care if he talks not nice. You don't care how he treats your daughter. You just care that he gets the right answers for the halakha questions. So why don't you marry a computer?
People are doing that these days, probably.
But that's the perversion that we have today in Torah. Because we're so corrupted in thinking that's what a ben Torah is. He knows everything. At 22 years old, no less. But is he a good person? Is he a proper person? That's an extra. That's nice. So you can't be a good Jew and a bad friend at the same time.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah, it's kind of also this idea. I mean, is that perfection? It's looking for everything, and some of the things that they're looking for are not really important.
Right.
That's what I feel. It's frustrating as like a shadchan when you're talking to a parent and they want to say no to an idea based on something that to me doesn't seem important. But again, it's not my place to tell them it's not important, and I won't tell them that because they're not asking me my opinion.
So that's your parents though. Like that's kind of
the piece of parents use your common sense, and parents are overwhelmed. I get it. It's an overwhelming process. My advice also, everyone should have someone to talk to. Singles, parents, have a dating coach, have someone to bounce things off of instead of giving no to a shidduch because you're feeling pressured or overwhelmed.
I'll make a statement, and you don't have to disagree or agree because it's a very like slippery slope, and it's very, but I don't really care. You know, like
you don't really care about?
No, like my kids aren't in shidduchim for at least 15 years.
Got it. So you're gonna say something? Let's hear it.
I think there'd be a lot more dates and potentially more shidduchim if parents took a step or two back and heard more from their kids. on preference and say, hey, what about this situation?
And this is exactly why the Shidduch Lounge is so needed, because they're coming to their mothers now and saying, I met this girl, I really liked her.
Yeah.
Can you look into her?
Right.
We're having different things come up from the Shidduch Lounge where guys and girls, kosher introductions are being made. And maybe that idea would not have been sent to the boy's mother because everyone would know that the boy's mother would not say yes to that idea.
Yeah.
But now that the boy met the girl and sees why it's a great idea. So now the question is, will the mother be upset that her son went to the Shidduch Lounge? Or if he goes out with her and it's his bashar, will the mother say, wow, my son needed that, or he wouldn't have met her?
Yeah.
I really hope that's how the mother will feel, because, again, her son's been dating for over 5 years already. These kids who have been in Shidduchim for 5 years, they don't want to despair. They want to stay optimistic. They want to stay positive. They're starting to despair. And when I said about the overwhelming amount of resumes coming in, the issue is for the boys, they're confused. They don't even know which way they should go. So everything's kind of at a standstill because of the way that where we're at right now in today's day and age with technology, the way it is.
Yeah.
And so there's less really, people are dating, but a lot of it is, the mother will base it, do her research for weeks, give a yes, and then the boy will say no after one date. It wasn't on target. That causes a lot of frustration for a boy and for the mother because she got it wrong.
Yeah, we didn't say this yet. We didn't put this out there, but we launched something recently called Meaningful Minute Plus. It's like different content. We're getting dabbling with like films, movies, documentaries, and we're working on a Shidduch film.
Oh, cool.
About a Shidduch crisis thing. So that's all I'll say for now. It's coming out, but it's like hitting on this point where it's like giving the no's for reasons that are just like, wait, like who's saying no to that? Like, does the boy that's what the Shidduch Lounge is, the great equalizer, because if the boy already meets the girl comes home and says, hey, he's a really nice boy. Okay, but did you know that his brother got a 62 on his social studies in 7th grade? Like, yeah, but I met him. He's a nice guy, Exactly. We've had many dates go out from already. Again, we only did 3 weeks, but I know about many. I basically know about all the datings that's going on. But there's so many people dating now who were red, and one side gave a no, and then they met and they said, "Oh, I want to go out with her." That's what I'm talking about.
100% that's happening at the Shidduch Lounge, and I think that is so important.
That's what I'm saying.
We got to get away from the papers and the pictures that are just
meet in person.
Yeah, it's not effective, and it's not helping us. It's making the crisis worse.
I think anybody who's in business would agree and understand that there's no business meeting that compares to sitting across from someone at the table and making a deal, as opposed to a Zoom meeting or a phone call or an email. You sit face to face, a lot more gets done. It shouldn't be any different when it comes to this. Yeah,
I love those stories of where a boy went to a wedding and he spotted a girl and he said, "Oh, who is that?" And the shotgun says, "I read her to you." And he's like, "You did?" And it's different when you see someone in person than on a paper and a picture. And that's what Shadchanim are seeing as well. And we want to help this process as much as we can. And imagine a Shidduch Lounge in every city. Imagine what that can do.
Like a WeWork, it's an awesome, take over the world.
Awesome idea. One in every single Jewish city, a community. You have someone spearheading, working it, which I'll need volunteers, of course. So anyone listening to this and wants to get involved and open one up in their community, please reach out. Yeah. It's a franchise, a nonprofit franchise.
Yeah.
But it's the schar that people get from doing.
Wait, could we discuss some business ideas for it also?
Yeah, sure. We can do that off.
You can sell exclusive food vending in all these locations. You can make bank. No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, it's all going back to the Shidduch Lounge, all to make more Shidduchim, but speak to your husband.
By the way, you said business in my mind. I do have a business mind. I'm listening to it.
You understand.
But I don't know. I find that at these events, the singles don't want to be eating. They want to be talking. Maybe alcohol. I'm kidding.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Well, for sure. No, we'll talk off camera about the business opportunities, because it's so cool, and it just will further give you the ability to do more and more and more all over the world.
And can I ask you, I don't know if we're finishing up here, but is there any way I could tie in the shar to this conversation? I mean, my husband Shlomo,
not
the shar,
which shar?
The shar Bal Tshuva Yeshiva.
Yes.
That you know what, I'm passionate about that too, because it's giving us more healthy, balanced guys that we can set up with girls that we know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tied in right there.
My introduction to Shar was I davened by KMH when I used to live here. And there was always like these few boys sitting in the back. I'm like, where are these guys from? Like they look like from all over the world. And then I'm like, oh, these are Shar guys.
Yeah.
And then like I'd get a random video of a guy like making a siyum or getting a bris milah at 22. You know, like it's really cool.
Yeah.
The Shar does amazing things.
Yeah. I
I
think they're up to Shidduch number 43, if I'm correct.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, they got 43 of their Bali Tshuva are married.
So like 10% of what you've done.
I like that.
Around, okay.
No bragging rights here.
Yeah.
This episode is also sponsored by my friends at Lalechet. Yes, because you're planning your next trip. Maybe Thanksgiving time, maybe Hanukkah time. You want to go to Eretz Yisrael, you want to go to Mezbush, you want to go, I don't know, anywhere in the world. It starts with Lalechet. Lalechet.com, Lalechet.com. They have their own pre-made trips that you can join, or you can form your own trip. You want to go to Eretz Yisrael? You want to go to Eretz Yisrael? Trust me, you want to go to Eretz Yisrael. Lalechet can take care of you from A to Z. It starts by going to Lalechet.com right now. You know what? It's actually intertwined with another one of our sponsors, the Dream Raffle. Maybe you're going to win the Dream Raffle, or you're going to buy a ticket right now at thedreamraffle.com, and maybe you'll win. And you want to go fly to your apartment, your brand new apartment that you win in Eretz Yisrael. How are you getting there? Who's going to make your itinerary? How about all the trips surrounding that? Well, Lalechet can take care of that for you. So first, go ahead and buy a ticket to the Dream Raffle right now. Hit the link in the show notes below. Buy your ticket, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to win, but you know what? You might as well have a chance too. Buy a ticket right now and call Lalechet. Say, hey, I want to fly to Israel for these and these dates to claim my brand new apartment, and I need your help. Well, ain't that fun? Lalechet.com, thedreamraffle.com. Go ahead and have some fun. This episode is also sponsored by my friends at Town Appliance. Ever since 1979, they've been the #1 appliance store servicing the Jewish community and beyond. They understand our needs. They understand what Erev Yontif looks like, the crunch time. They understand that when you say you need a new oven next week, you need it next week. They understand when they walk into your Jewish home, it's practical. It's practical. It's stuff that you need. When you call and you want to purchase a brand new oven, a brand new fridge, a brand new freezer right before Yontif, it's not something that could delay for 2 to 3 weeks, that you need it ASAP. So head to townappliance.com right now. They've been taking care of us ever since 1979, and it's going to be like that for a far long time. Even when Mashiach comes, Town Appliance is going to be there. That's what some of Farshim say. I'm just kidding about that. I'm not sure. But what I do know for sure is head to townappliance.com. The customer service is incredible, and you'll be taken care of. Mention meaningful people for some extra special treatment. Enjoy the rest of this episode.
I think that this lounge thing is like gold. Like this is the answer for what a lot of people are feeling of despair and pain and fear. Question is like, it seems like this might be a b'diavad approach, and it could be even for you. You're going at a certain later stage in life, once later, whatever, 26, 27. But people are coming back from seminary and come back from yeshiva, and they're 21, 22.
That's a good question.
Why should they have to go through those 3-4 years of?
Okay, you're touching on something important, and our second week we focused on 19 to 25-year-olds who are looking for a working Torah focused. So it was very easy to fill up. We were full pretty quickly. Guys and girls, both solid, incredible crowd. And when I mean that, like as a shadchan, I can tell you, they were sought after boys and girls who came and attended, and it was fabulous. What we're doing now, this is our 4th week. This is new. We're targeting the short-term learners who are ages 19 to 25. This is going to be the test.
That's what I'm talking about. That's cool.
Is the test, yeah. And
can we get a live stream?
I will tell you that for this event, I made sure we have top facilitator, top shadchanim who are going to be there. I think the biggest draw for this age is that there will be great shadchanim for them to network with and meet. I will tell you, 1, 2, 3, we have incredible girls who signed up. Like, and when I say incredible, again, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They're incredible. The boys are trickling in, sluggish, trickling. Because
they feel entitled. I can say that. They feel like, why do I need to do this? My mother is giving me...
It could be they're not frustrated in the process yet. They're not feeling like, hey, I want to... Another thing that being done the Kafsklas, which I have to assume is part of it, when they're younger and they're fresh to this, they're giving yeses, and it could be they're busy. So I did get a phone call or two from boys who said, I gave a yes, can I still come? So, he didn't go out yet, but he gave yes. So, these are questions. These are real questions. And we're not going to go into that now on the show. But at the end of the day, this is going to be the test if what kind of turnout we have for this weekend, for this Moshe Shabbos. And I'm really davening that whatever's meant to be, because again, Shidduchim, it's in the hands of Hashem. So we have done our job in spreading the word. I have my team of shadchanim. It's volunteer, and I have over about 45 right now on the chat who are involved in posting on their status and getting the word out. And we'll see how many boys we get.
That's really cool. Listen, if any boys are listening to this, go. I hope one day it becomes like the norm in our circles that this is the norm, and not sitting at home and just waiting is the norm. Yeah. That should be like, okay, listen, if you can't go out there, and if you don't, if there's a certain group of people that want to do it this way, then okay, get it. It'll easier to filter out who's for who in that case. These people don't go out, these people don't go out. They wait at home. Maybe they're for each other. Perfect. Definitely.
And I will say, people have been asking us, will we do a more yeshivish crowd? And the answer is, I would hope that we will. We would start with an older crowd where, let's say we have the 25 to 32-year-olds who have been dating for so long and they really could appreciate this. I would also say that it would be important for us to get some shadchanim in the yeshivish world, possibly from Lakewood, some male shadchanim who would volunteer and come in. Although we might have to have some budget to have that happen, I think it would be important for us to do that. So
it'll be covered. We're going to discuss this.
So we can make that happen. We can get the help them too. I know that I would say with the right shadchanim there to facilitate, the yeshivish crowd would come.
Awesome.
I do.
It's revolution. Yeah. This is amazing. Not revolution. Revolution has a negative. Yeah. This is like a greatness. Yeah. There's a lot of questions that were sent in. We have an anonymous question line. Yeah, you just got nervous.
Yeah, I did.
People send in questions, and I'm gonna do a couple for everybody, and then we have also for our Plus members, we do a little bit off the record where we'll continue doing a few more for them. But just to jump in, a lot of these I didn't read yet, so I'm reading them for the first time with you. Isn't that fun? That's so fun. This is about parents being overbearing, but we just touched upon that.
Yeah, and parents are not going to like it if we focus on them too much.
Nope, we're gonna take the spotlight off that. Okay, I didn't read this. I'm reading this for the first time. Might not make sense, but here we go. We have a daughter in Shidduch, and we are very blessed that she's an intelligent and accomplished young woman. Many young men are intimidated by her Kosher, and she isn't alone in this. How do we build up our young men to a place where strong, smart, and accomplished young women are sought after? Nothing nachi, because he said, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I think we need a psychologist involved over here.
All right, we actually have one later coming. Not sure? No, okay.
Do you know what I mean? That's...
Not really, though.
Changing the societal, what boys want or what... And again, it's not all boys who are going to be intimidated by that.
I think a little bit is that a girl goes to seminary, and then it's like... time to live, college, work, job, career,
for sure,
dating, a lot of ambition, a lot of stuff. A boy can go to yeshiva and then be like, I'm good for the next 3-4 years. Amazing. If he's learning, amazing. He's doing his thing. But a girl is really going, taking life. A guy could be coasting a little bit.
Can I turn this around though?
Yeah.
A lot of times the boy won't be so intimidated. He'll actually like the fact that the girl has her act together. The problem the parent might not be stating here is that when the girl goes out with the boy, it
might not be satisfying enough for her.
She's not satisfied with what he's doing. She's not respecting him. She's not feeling like he has enough to offer. Let's use that word.
I've seen that a lot. And it's a little bit like a guy gets married and maybe he shouldn't, maybe he's not necessarily a guy who's really, he's a 2 to 3 year learner, but really he's like a 2 to 3 day year learner, I don't know, he's just like buddy go to work type.
Yeah.
And the girl's working hard, and she comes home, she's like, what are you doing? I looked at the wife, I'm like, how you, you're looking at this, your husband, and he's just like, oh, what happened the second Seder today? Shana Rashina, dude, we're married 3 years, so you have a lot of that. You have a lot of that where guys have an out and girls don't. So I don't think we're creating better girls than guys. I think that girls have such a narrow haul that this is what they got to do, and guys could just I don't know. There's no pressure on them.
And the question is, can a girl change her mindset to be a little bit more chilled in that regard, in terms of understanding the person you're dating is, I'll use the word work in progress. I don't love that term, but it means you're you're dating a guy who's only 22, 23.
Right.
Now, we know that maturity for guys is later. So let's say that's the maturity of an 18-year-old girl, right?
Okay.
So you're dating, you're trying to get married. Look for the qualities that you really need in terms of who he is today. Realize you're gonna be his Ezer Kenegdo. You're gonna help him develop and become who he's gonna become.
Mm-hmm.
Your father at 42 wasn't like this at 22 either.
Right.
So sometimes girls have high expectations from the boys. I'm turning this question around because that's what I see happening.
I hear.
Where a lot of times an accomplished girl, it's not that the boys are so intimidated by her. It's that she's not going for the boy because he's not as accomplished.
Okay. That's fair. I don't know if
Yeah.
don't like that. Because I hear. I'm so glad you'll be interviewing a shachan. I dabble in shidduchim as well, and I think it's important for everyone to try to brainstorm. Please ask the shachan what advice you would give to singles and their parents.
Okay, singles and their parents. Okay, it's a really vague. There's so many things to tell singles and parents. If I had to choose one thing, this thing is okay. So for parents and singles, positivity. Like that's just something when you're going through this whole process, you're in it for as long as you're in it, try your hardest to stay positive. Do whatever you need to do for yourself to stay positive.
Yeah.
Whether it means talking to someone, whether it means taking on different schoolos or davening, whether it means
travel the world, live life.
Yeah. Whatever you need to do to stay positive, do that because it's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. Don't get to despair. Don't let it get you down because listen, it's nisayon. It's a true nisayon that you're in. Stay positive in it. Like that's the first thing that I think really, I'm sure people know that, but it's probably an avoda just to stay positive.
Yeah.
And singles and parents have to remember that. I would tell parents, stop looking for perfection. And I know that's a hard thing to hear, but look for what's good for your child. Look what can work for your child. No one's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Someone doesn't have the perfect family situation. You hear one little negative thing, you want to say no. Don't say no because of it.
Honestly, those who look perfect are probably even more messed up than anybody else. I'm just saying.
I always say to people, what you don't know now doesn't mean it's good. Like just because this seems perfect to you, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's something really important. There's one more thing I would just remind parents in this whole, when you're in this parsha of Shidduchim dealing with shadchanim, try to remember that any shadchan who's reaching out to you or you're reaching out to them is most likely doing it for chesed. Just keep that in your mind when you're reaching out. It's not a business. Yes, if they make your shidduch, you're going to pay them shadchanas, but it's not a business. They're giving their time, their hours, their work strictly for chesed. So be appreciative in just the way you talk to them in a nice way, in a kind way, thank them. Doesn't have to be monetarily, just the way you talk to them. Keep that in mind. You'll get so much further, even with your relationships with shadchanim. They appreciate, we so appreciate the people who just are kind in the way they communicate with us.
For sure. No, I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna do a couple more just for Plus members. So you can say bye to everybody on YouTube right now. Thank you if you guys want to listen to the rest of this. Meaningful and a plus. Okay. So that's the episode. Well, what message would you say to, I guess, the parting words, a message to people out there who are still single and they're waiting and I guess maybe they feel pain, maybe they feel anxious, maybe they feel nervous. What would you say to them? I
would just say that realize that we as shadchanim understand that you are in pain and it's a difficult time to be in and it's a nisayon and we're here on the same team as you guys trying to be of assistance. We want to help you and we also want to see that you want to help yourselves, which is a statement in and of itself. But
hashtag the lounge. Yeah.
Exactly. Totally. You want to help yourself? Come on out to the Shidduch Lounge when it's an appropriate crowd for yourself and come see, come network with us, come talk to us and keep yourself active and networking and just stay positive through this nisayon. Like positivity, you're getting, why you were chosen, if you're older and you're still single and why you were chosen for this, only Hashem knows. But get your schar that you deserve and stay positive.
Amazing. That is Adina Reich. Thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for watching this episode. The episode doesn't really end here. I'm letting you know there's a lot more to this, a lot more questions that you guys sent in for our Plus members. So if you're not a Plus member yet, become a Plus member right now. Head to mmplus.org and support Meaningful Minute. Small donation that you give, and in return, you get a whole lot of exclusive content. So head to mmplus.org right now. You'll see bonus content from this episode, plus a lot more content from episodes you've never seen because you're not a Plus member yet. So mmplus.org right now. That is mmplus.org to see the rest of the questions asked in this episode, which are super insightful. I want to thank Adina Reich for coming on the podcast and really giving her point of view, her opinion. I personally think the Shidduch Lounge is such an incredible new initiative, which is going to be super successful. And I don't know, wherever you're watching this in the world, you might want this in your city. So feel free to reach out. We're going to drop some contact information for Adina and her team. I want to give a big thank you to Blooms for always making sure the Meaningful People studio is stocked with the best refreshments, always. So thank you, Blooms. Thank you, Adina Reich. Thank you to all our Plus members who are making all this content possible. And I will see you again next week, everybody. Have a good one.